Hello, my name is Nicole, and thank you so much for taking the time out to listen. Today, we are talking about the student. The student. And on top of that, we want to discuss specific things about the student who becomes the teacher. Okay? And sometimes teachers, especially the controlling type, they don't like students becoming teachers. Okay? Because that student is going to start to see some of the flaws that the teacher has, and the teacher doesn't want to listen to the criticism. The teacher doesn't want to be told too much of anything. Just let me be. I taught you, but you are not to give me any feedback on what I have told you. Now, you may have been raised by parents or guardians who were like this. You're not going to be a child always, someone told you many years ago. And then you became the adult and you told that person who was teaching you all those years some things that you observed about what they did or didn't do. And that teacher, guardian, parent, got a bit angry, had an attitude, checked you, told you, who are you to be telling me anything? I taught you. The student is observant. The student is disciplined to learn from the teacher. The student is not going to do anything to anger the teacher, at least intentional, because they stand to gain something from that teacher. The student may pay much money to get the knowledge. That student may go out of his or her way trying to get to the teacher. The student is going to put the teacher on a throne in his or her life. The believer shouldn't do that sort of thing. God should be on the throne. But the worldly one will idolize his or her teacher. The teacher could come in the form of a parent. The teacher could be a school teacher. The teacher could be a psychologist. The teacher could be a matriarch or patriarch of someone else's family. But either way, the teacher is responsible for providing the necessary information that is going to get that student from being a student to one day being a teacher. If he or she is not one with some type of selfish agendas, someone who's not looking to make a mini me out of that person, someone who's not looking to control someone who's not looking to take advantage. The teacher should be a simple teacher with goals for the student, a teacher who gets along well, one who is not being abusive. Okay, so you get the point. The student-teacher relationship should be a relationship that is going to be helpful, not hurtful. But what happens when teachers end up hurting students? Well, you have more of the same, right? More abuse, more drama, more upset. Now the student who is old enough, qualified enough, or what have you to be a teacher, rather than use his or her expertise for all the right reasons, ends up playing out what took place with him or her. We're talking about the negative stuff now, the downright dirty, ugly, nasty kind of stuff. When the student recognizes that something isn't quite right in the relationship, he or she has a choice. That person can get out of that dysfunctional relationship by distancing oneself, not answering phone calls, not going back around that person. He or she can also report activities to the necessary authorities. That student can talk over what he or she went through with that teacher to someone else. But what that student should never ever do is deny that certain things took place. Because that, my friend, is nothing more than the demonic influences, whether coming from that teacher or from somewhere else, getting you into a place of bondage where you eventually either kill other people spiritually, mentally, or physically, or you kill yourself. And right now, unfortunately, there is a season of people taking themselves out of here because of teachers who didn't do their jobs. And then teachers who couldn't seem to fight their demons, taking themselves out because they cannot deal with that guilt. They can't stand the thoughts and the stuff that's floating around in their minds that they did with their students. And so they take themselves out. I am here to tell folks, whether good, bad, or otherwise, you are not to take yourself out of here. Simply put, your Creator did not intend for you to throw your life away. Some people will say, well, my life was already thrown away the day that these things happened. And if the Creator is so heavenly, so good, so righteous, so whatever you want to say about the Creator, why would He allow these things to take place? And I will tell you that we've all gone through our share of issues, and I've asked that same question. And what I came up with, whether you want to agree with it, whether you want to be at peace with what I'm about to say, that's up to you. But God let me know that He created man as well as woman in such a way where they could make choices, good ones as well as bad ones. People make choices. Dysfunctional folks, their choices at times are skewed. So if I know that I'm around somebody who has something that's not quite right with him or her, it would make sense not to be around that individual. It would make sense to ask for some help from other people. It would also make sense that those who are responsible for me will protect me. But sometimes people choose to do other things, things that distract them from what God has put in their spirits to check up on. The parent decides to go to work instead of staying home one day. And so some things take place while the children are on school breaks. Sometimes we've got individuals who are told to act appropriately, and they choose to ignore advice, and so they end up causing problems for other people. We got some who they know full well that what is taking place isn't right, but they go ahead and do some things anyway, because I don't care what people think, and I'm going to go along with whatever promises this teacher has given me, only to find out that those promises were false, only to find out that things aren't what they appear to be. Gifts. There are many students who are given gifts for accomplishment. These gifts can be beneficial, and these gifts can also be hurtful. Some people end up being slaves to their teachers as a result of accepting gifts. Anytime somebody says to you, "Do you want me to?" your ears should perk up. Do you want me to show you this? Would you like me to do this for you? I can also give you And then what is it that they require of you? Is it something that makes you feel uncomfortable? Is it something that's odd, that's strange? Is it something that's going to require more money? What is it that I'm going to have to do in order to keep receiving entertainment, education, gifts from you? And if it's something that makes the hair on the back of your neck stand up, if it's something that makes your stomach churn, if it's something where you know you got to tell some lies, then it's safe to say it ain't the right thing. If it's something that you know that later on in life you're going to regret having ever done it, it's safe to say you shouldn't be a part of it. Quality teachers, you walk away from those relationships feeling empowered. You feel good. You're not embarrassed or ashamed of anything that took place with that teacher. You're able to get out here and teach other people, and other people call you blessed, and they're grateful and they say thank you very much. But when you have a dysfunctional teacher, you get out here, you end up becoming more of a problem rather than a solution. You end up saying some things that you have no business saying. You end up angering people more than helping people. Dysfunctional teachers will cause you to be quite slow in development. Dysfunctional teachers will make mini-me's out of you, where you end up doing and saying some of the most disturbing things that may have been said or done to you. The student doesn't want that type of stress. The student doesn't want to end up leaving an organization only to end up having to sign up for another organization to undo all the wrong that they were taught from someone or some group. Now I got to spend more money to get down to the bottom of what hurts. Now I got to spend more money to relearn something. The people are looking at me saying, "You have a degree? Are you sure? What happened?" I'll tell you what happened. Satan and his minions ended up teaching some folks some wrong things. And then they, in turn, ended up teaching you some wrong things. It wasn't just about a human going off into some school district wanting to teach children, but that human had some evil intentions. It wasn't just about an organization being created to help others, but there was some agendas behind the scenes to get people to think and do certain things. It wasn't just about a group saying that they want to teach, but that group also wanted to brainwash, to manipulate. So the student has to be mindful of what is around him or her, as well as who, and do the necessary research before they get involved with folks. Of course, there are going to be sales representatives or just representatives in general of organizations getting you to sign up, getting you to attend, promising you the sun, moon, and stars because they want you. But you've got to look beyond what people say, and you got to focus in on what people do, as well as those that used to be under that organization or used to be with that teacher. And have we even heard of this teacher? And what does the internet say about this teacher? And what does the community say? Because sometimes the internet, well, people pay. They pay for all sorts of reviews. So the internet at times will tell its share of tales. So you've got to go sometimes where that neighborhood is, where the business is located. Sometimes you've got to find out through other people that used to live there or work there what these people are really about. Facebook, LinkedIn, and other sites like that, there are those that know of other people that know of other people. And there's an exchange of information that takes place with some folks. You don't want the soft sales pitch that's sweet and nice and sappy. You want the truth. And you have every right to ask for the truth. Cut the flattery. Cut all of the positive statements, the canned responses, and tell me the truth. Who is this teacher? For some of you all in your own families, these dysfunctional teachers, ineffective, demanding, difficult, bossy, whatever you want to call them, when you are called back to them, whether through an event, whether through some type of tragedy that happened in the family or what have you, you've got to keep in mind, why was it that you disconnected to begin with? And is there anything that that person can teach you at this point in your life? Is this person really necessary to deal with when you know he or she got a lot of skeletons, a lot of demons, not the least bit interested in walking a spiritual walk? A teacher, former teacher that's not righteous, that's got some immoral stuff going on, can be your downfall. So with that said, I thank you so much as always for taking time out of your busy schedule to listen. You've been listening to YouTube NM Enterprise 7. Feel free to subscribe. Also, if you haven't given, we do welcome donations. And please do check the description box for anything that might be of interest. Blessings to you.